So let us review what we learned on last session. We learned about what's data visualization. In case if you missed the previous session, all my sessions already recorded on my YouTube, so you can go to my YouTube channel and watch all my videos. So we learned on last session, it was about what's data visualization. Also, we learned about what's the benefit of the visualization. What kind of visualization type do we have within Power BI? Also, when to use what. And we did a live demo with the specific business case. And also I assigned for you a homework. The purpose of the homework actually to make sure that you practice on more example to help you to know more about Power BI. So today what we will learn before we jump to the topic today. So as I mentioned, if you missed any session, because we did 2 sessions for Power BI. So if you are a beginner or you don't have any idea about Power BI, all this session will help you to understand more about Power BI. So my main focus for this month actually to focus on the beginner level for Power BI. So if you are a new or you are a beginner, you can start learning all the sessions that I have it. So all my sessions on my YouTube channel, just go there and watch it. I will be posting the link shortly on the Teams chat. Okay, so what we will learn today, we will focus today on how we can edit a relationship and what's the difference between the auto detect and manually relationship. And also we will learn by ourselves like how we can do the auto detect during load and how we can create a relationship with auto detect and how we can create any relationship manually. Also, I will be assigning for you a homework. I will be also add the homework on the comments part within the meetup. So let's start with the case study. Let me open the Power BI that I have. Just a minute. So the first part, if you already installed Power BI, make sure to open it. And today, actually, you can use any example that you have it because the main purpose of our session today to just make sure that you are understanding how we can build a relationship. So first step for us, as we mentioned, you need to make sure that you are understanding what kind of data that you will import it to your Power BI. So I'm going to import a specific data source here, which is an Excel. So let me add an Excel file. In our example today, you can add whatever you want, but let me show you what you need to focus on. So I will add this file actually. And within this Excel file, I have 2 tables because I want to build a relationship, and you cannot build a relationship with only one table. You need to have several tables actually, or 2 tables at least. So now I want to add 2 tables and import it to my Power BI. As we mentioned before, if you remember that, we have 2 options. Either we load the data or we do transform data. It's up to you, whatever you want. But for me here, actually, if I look to the first one, here we have a column 1, we have a column 2, but which not the correct name of my header. So the header name is supposed to be this one. So I would like to change it before I load it to my Power BI. So I just need to go transform data and let me edit it very quick. Okay, cool. So here we go. I will check the first one. There is a function here within Power BI. Actually, they call it use first row as a header. I just need to click on it. It's a very easy step. And from there, I just need to close and save it. It seems for me, it's a good data. There is nothing to change. So I will use it. But before I close it, let me explain more about project hours. So I have here the first table here. I call it project hours, which is a record of work tickets that record the number of hours for each person. If you look at the data here, we have submitted by hours of project, we have date of a project, and for a specific project. For the second table here, I call it company project. Why I'm explaining to you here what's the different data source or what's the different tables do I have here, because you need to understand your data, because based on your understanding you will be able to build a relationship. So The second table, actually, it's a company project, which is a list of a project with an assigned priority here. If I look at it, I have ABC and I have a project name. So I am very sure that the common key between this table and this table is the project name, which is here. I have the color, and if I look to the project hours, I have the project, even if it's not the same. So let me close it and apply it, and let us move to the second step. Okay, now I already import my data. I understand what kind of tables do I have within my Power BI. Okay, now let us do something here. Actually, I would like to build a table, and within the table, I would like to see the number of hours. Okay, so let me add here. I would like to see the number of hours, which is I have it on a project hours for each priority that I have it here. So let's try to do something here and see if it's working or not. So let me add this one as a table. Let me select the visualization already selected, and let me select the hours from here. If you noticed here, we have ABC. Okay, but the number is equal, right? Even the total here, it doesn't make sense. And the number is equal for all the priority that I have it here. It means there is something wrong. So why I have all the priorities that I have it on my table with the same number, and even the total it's the same, which is wrong, because you cannot actually add your visualization. And I already mentioned on my previous session, sometimes you can add from different tables and you can get your data, but it will be a wrong data because there is no relationship, or the relationship that you have it's not correct. So let's see now. How can I check the relationship, or from where I can look at the relationship within my file? You can go from here, and if you look at it here, there is no relationship. And today I will explain to you how we can build a relationship between different tables. And but I'm sure that not all of you, you have an IT background, so maybe you are not aware about the type of relationship do we have it within the data here within Power BI. So I will try my best to explain it in easiest way. So why do we have the number here is the same and the total it's the same also? And sometimes when you choose the visual, you will get an error because you don't have a relationship. So from there, I need to build a relationship, and you have two ways to build any relationship. So let's start with the first one. You can go to the home from either from here by clicking here, or from the report page, or let's us back here and go to the home and click on manage relationship. Okay, cool. Now I have two options, which is a new and auto detect. I will explain later on about this one, okay? But let's start to build a relationship for these two tables, and I will show you what kind of numbers we will get within our report. So let us click on a new. And here you need to I need you to focus, because here I'm going to explain to you what kind of relationship do we have, and how or when to use what. Okay, so from here you need to choose the table, the first table that you're gonna use it to build the relationship. So it's up to you. For example, I'm gonna use company project, and by default, if you have two tables, if you pick any one, for example, if I select project hours, by default I will get the second one here. But if you have three tables, so it's up to you what kind of tables you're gonna use it from the rest two here. Okay, so we have a project hours and we have a company project, and I'm very sure that I have the same column here, project, which is the same one that I have it here. So first you need to select your table, then you need to select your column for each data source you have it. So here project, then you need to go there and select a project name. Power BI is smart enough to detect for you what kind of relationship you need to select. So don't worry about this part, but I will explain it to you, because sometimes you need to change the relationship here based on your data set, based on your understanding for your data. So here After I select this one, it show me that it's many to one relationship. So what do we mean by, if you see here the drop down menu, we have many to one, we have one to one, we have one to many, and we have many to many. So from the words itself, actually, but I I will explain it in easiest way. So here, many to one, it means, for example, if I see here, I have the project and I have a project name. It means the relationship between two columns here. For example, here I have a blue, maybe it's not a unique value. It means maybe I have a blue 100 times, maybe two times. So many, it means you have the item more than one within your column. So here I'm sure that I have a blue more than one time. Maybe you have a blue one, but you have red three times, yellow three times. So we cannot consider it as a one to one relationship. We can consider it as a many to one relationship. One, because here I'm very sure within company project table, I have a blue only one time. Even red, I don't have red for two items or three items. So here, a blue is a unique item, red is a unique item, even green is a unique item. But here it's opposite. Okay, this is the first one, many to one. Let us change the order here. Let us put a company project and the project hours here and see what kind of relationship we will get here. So company project, cool. And let me select here project. And here I'm very sure that my item is unique. It means always I have only one blue, always I have only one red, and always I have only one green. But here I'm very sure that I have maybe 100 red or 100 yellow. So let me click here. It's the opposite one, which is one to many. So it depends on your data source. It depends on what kind of data you have within your column. Based on this one, you can select this one. So sometimes when you select one to many and you have your table here, but maybe 2 days and you will update your data, right? And maybe you will have another items with the blue project name or with a red or whatever you are having within this column that you have a relationship. That's why you need to understand your data source and you need to understand how you select your relationship. So here in our example, we have a relationship from one to many. It's correct because we have a unique value here from this table to this table. But if you refresh your data and you have a duplications for your items, it means you need to change this one. It's not anymore one to many. Maybe it will be many to many or the opposite. It depends on your data source. So if you have here a blue 100 time and you have a red 100 time and similar way here, so you need to change it from many to many because you don't have any unique value for the item. It's duplication. So that's why you need to change it. And why I'm saying that the relationship here within the table is very important. As we see, we add our table and we get a wrong numbers, which is the duplication of the number and it's not the correct number. So that's why the relationship is very important to get a correct visualization. So now let us spell the correct one. I have a project name. I have this one. Let us click on OK. Okay, cool. This mark actually, it means my relationship is active. What if I want to delete it? What if I want to make it inactive? If you don't want to make it active, you just need to remove this one. But it means still the relationship is here, but it's inactive. But if you want to delete it at all, you just need to click on it and delete it. I will not delete it. I will keep it and I will show you what kind of visualization that we will have now. And look at this one. Now it show me we have a relationship and it's one to many. And actually this one, it's the direction, which is I will explain it later on for the single and for the both direction. We will add later on another table and I will explain to you. Okay, cool. Now let us go back to our visualization and see if we are getting any correct number. See? Now we have the correct number. And the total, it seems this is the correct total number, and this is the correct number for each priority that we have it. So before it was the same number for everything, which is doesn't make any sense for me. And I'm sure that for all my priority, I have a different number. So that's why the relationship is very important for you to get the correct visualization. Let us go back to our relationship here. And now I will explain to you something we call it auto detect relationship. If we look at here manage relationship, we have something we call it auto detect. It means if I click on it, by default, Power BI will check all my tables. What if I have 100 tables? It will Power BI will check for me if there is any relationship. Okay, so what's kind of a criteria that Power BI gonna to check if there is any relationship? As we know, Power BI is smart, but it's not smart enough to read my data. It means here on our example today, we have a project hours table and we have a company project. And the relationship actually it's here with two columns, a project and a project name, right? It's different name, but the items here within the column, it's the same. And it's the key column for me. So auto detect function, even you don't need to click here actually, because if you enable it from your setting, which is I will show it to you, Power BI will detect it immediately. But how? Power BI will go and check. For example, here, if I have two tables or maybe three tables or as much as you have, and for example, here I have a project name or I have ID column, and also I have here with the same name of the column that I have it here. For Power BI as an auto detect function, it seems there is a relationship because I have the same column name in both tables or all my tables. So sometimes you need to be very careful, and I already mentioned it before. You need to understand when to use auto detect and when you need to review your relationship, because sometimes you have an ID number here on your relationship and you have an ID number here, but it doesn't mean that there is a relationship between two columns. The main relationship actually it's between my project name and the project. So sometimes the auto detect relationship it's not correct and you need to be very careful between your tables. Okay, how can I enable or from where I can look at the setting for the relationship that I have it on my Power BI? So if you go to your file and we have options and setting, from there click on options. Few seconds and we will get the pop-up message. Okay, cool. From here there is something we call it here. It's just a minute. Let me look at it. Not auto data load. Yeah, here we go. So we call it data load, and from there is something we call it relationships. Okay. So if you look at it here by default, I didn't change anything on my Power BI setting. Actually, the first one, import relationship from data source on first load. It means when I import my data for the first time to my Power BI, import the relationship immediately on my here on this page and check if there is any relationship, as I mentioned, as a auto detect, like if there is any two columns with the same name, make it a relationship. Second one, update or delete a relationship when refreshing data. For example, you already have a scheduled refresh for your data every 2 hours or every or daily or weekly, whatever you are having to refresh your data. So every time when you refresh your data, you want, if you click here, every time you are deleting the relationship or you are updating the relationship. So I don't suggest for you to use this one because every time you need to delete your relationship and rebuild it again. So that's why by default there is nothing here. Okay, and the last one, auto detect a new relationship after data is loaded. It means after I load my data or updating my data or adding any new data to my previous one, or any data that I have it on my Power BI, go and check. And if there is any two columns with the same name from different tables, make it as an auto detect relationship. And here I will repeat again, be careful. The auto detect sometimes it's not correct. If you are understanding your data and you know that maybe if you want to make it easier for you, you can just name the column with the same name. For example, here, just put a project name and a project name here, and that's it. Power BI before uploading your data. Power BI will be smart enough to detect your relationship, or you can keep it as you want and add your relationship by yourself. Okay, let us click on Manage Relationship and let me highlight something here. As I mentioned, sometimes you can click here, but if you want to check if there is any relationship or something here. The question here, what if I want to edit the relationship? Or what if I want to delete the relationship? How can I do it? The similar way that you add your relationship, you can go here, click on Edit. And once you click on Edit, you will be able to change. For example, you can change the table, you can change the relationship type or the filter, which is single or both. I will explain more about it after I load another table here. But let me highlight something here. Actually, for two tables, you cannot create two relationships. So I cannot, for example, if I want to try to build another relationship, let me try. For example, here, let me click Manage Relationship. And now I would like to create a new relationship between two tables, but with different columns. Do you think that it will work? Let's see. Company, project, project hours. Let me select, I know there is no relationship only between a project and the project name, but let me select a wrong one and see. And okay. And if I click many too many, but if I want to make it active, you will get this pop-up message. An active already exists between company project and the project hours. So if you want to make this one active, which is between two different columns, you need to disable this one. So you cannot make two active relationship between two tables. So now if I click close, I will not be able to see the relationship, but it will be similar to this one. It means this relationship with the dots here that we have it's not aligned. It means this is an active relationship. I'm not using this one. I'm using this one to make it active on all my tables. And even if I go back to my report, I will be able to see still the correct number. So see the difference between active relationship and not active relationship. And if you look at here, the direction actually it means both direction. And here it's a single direction, which is I will explain it later on. But let me remove this one. Now I would like to delete it. Just double click on it. And actually from manage relationship, you can, let me try to click on it and delete it from there. Just a minute. Okay, cool. So from here, I need to make it active, then delete this one. Cool. And from there, I need to make it active, and that's it. And now it's supposed to be removed from here. Okay, cool. Now let me add another data source. I would like to add another table here and to show you what's the difference between direction that we have it on our Power BI. So now I would like to add an PDF. I mentioned before, you can add different data type of your sources. For example, here I have an Excel. Now I would like to add an PDF. Okay, PDF, it means I will show you what kind of PDF. It doesn't mean that I can add like invoice or a text or a paragraph to my Power BI. No, it means you're supposed to have it as a table, because in my PDF actually I have the numbers and I have the data as similar to this one as a table. So now let me load the data and let us see. It's loading. Okay, cool. But now I would like to go to transform data and do some editing. Or you can do it from the first step actually. You don't need to go to load it and do it from there. Okay, cool. Now let me change the name of this one, and what I can call it, maybe I can call it project budget. Project, just a minute. Okay. Um, I would like to remove this one. Let me see if there is, okay, remove blank. Nothing happened. So let me try to remove, no, sorry. Okay, now it show me what, if you want to remove anyone, I would like to remove this number. Okay, so you just need to mention the number of rows that you want to remove. So it's 4. Let's try number of rows. Hopefully, I just wanna to remove one, not the number of this one. Sorry. So cool. Now I removed this one. Or you can filter, as Faraz he already mentioned that you can filter it, then remove it. Okay, cool. Now let me close it and apply it. And before we build any relationship, I just wanted to read the data, what kind of data that I have it here. So let us read it from here and project budget. So what I have here, I have the approved project, which is the common key that I have it on all my two tables, right? And I have a location date, I have the budget and so on. So the only way to build a relationship between all my tables actually, which is this one, the project name, and then the column name here is approved project. So I don't want to change it. I would like to keep it as it is because I'm gonna use it on other visualizations. So at the end, it's up to you. So if I go here and let me add the project hours here, and now before we jump here, let us build a visualization between a project budget and company project, okay? And there is no relationship. Let's try. Can we do anything? So let us company project. We will add a priority here and we will use project budget here, which is the approved project. We cannot even here see, we get an error. If we click on fix this, it will show you there is no relationship. Here it was working fine, but here it show you you need to work on any relationship. So if we go back and we will keep this one and let us go to a relationship and build something. Now, what I will do, I will build a relationship between a project budget and project hours, not this one. And I want to see, is it possible to build a relationship between three tables? And for example, here, I will keep this one as the center table for me, and I will build a relationship from project budget and the project hours. And I would like to see if my visual will work based on this one, and my visual actually based on two tables, which is project budget and company project. So let's try now to build a relationship. I just wanna to understand if it's possible. And in this way, I just wanted to show you how we can build a different type of relationship. So if I click on project budget and what we mentioned, project hours. So I want to build a visual with not direct relationship. Okay, so we have approved the project. I know my data, so I know. So it's by default one to many. You don't need to worry about it. And if I click OK, and it's already active, and let's see. So we can see the direction. It's from here to here and from here to here. Let's see our report. It's working, but with different numbers. It's correct, but let us change the direction. And if you look at the company project and the project budget, there is no relationship. See? But we have a relationship between company project hours and project budget and the project hours. That's why I'm getting my visual correctly. You get my point here? So sometimes you don't need to build a direct relationship between two tables to get the correct visualization. So you just need to build sometimes you can build indirect relationship, but you need to have something between two tables or a common relationship between two tables. Okay, but now let us try to change the direction. I mentioned here we have single direction or both. So what's the difference between both or single direction? Let's see. Check here. It means we have a both direction. If we go back, still we have the correct number. It means the single direction I'm reading, for example, here I'm reading from here to here. But what if I have another relationship with the company project and I have another table. Imagine with me, we have another table here, and it's from this table a relationship between company project and another table, and there is no direct relationship or any other relationship with this one, and there is no single direction or both direction between company project and the project hours. It means you cannot, this table that we have it here, we cannot read from here. So that's why the direction also is very important, but don't worry about it because Power BI will detect for you the correct one. So here I will return it back to single, but sometimes you need to focus on this one because you maybe you have more than 5 or 4 tables within your Power BI, but here we have only 3 tables, so it seems correct. But now let us do something else. Let me remove this relationship. Okay. Or let me change from project hours to project budget. And I know the relationship is supposed to be here. And click. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that my visual will work or not. Let me check again. Project hours. Okay, cool. And here we go. Still, we have, even if you change it, we have the same visualization. So let us review very quick. Let me check who's in chat. Okay, cool. So what we learned today that how you can build a relationship, what's the auto detect relationship, and what if I have more than 2 tables? Is it possible to build indirect relationship and get my visualization? And why sometimes I'm getting the same number for all my data, even if there is no relationship, because you cannot get the correct number unless you have a relationship and it's supposed to be a correct relationship. And also we learned how we can edit or delete, how we can change the relationship, what's the different type of relationship, and how we can filter our relationship. So I try to make it easier for you even if you don't have any IT background, so you'll be able to understand it. So if you have any question, just type it on the chat. And if you missed any session before, you can check it on my YouTube channel. So let me check now. I think we have only Hal on the session. Do you have any question? Okay, so thank you so much. And if you have any question or anything, just ping me on on my social media accounts, Twitter or LinkedIn or even Meetup. You can post your question there. And have a nice day. Thank you.